where we placed our card, we must use a different notation over here, and that notation could be 0 1 or 1 0 or whatever, depends on the placement or on the router itself. Okay. Okay, now you'll tell me, are we ready? Can we use that interface? You can't use the interface before issuing a no shutdown command. Okay, so go ahead, no shut down command. Okay, now it's telling me the interface serial 000 tried to come up but changed state to down. That's a normal thing since that interface is connected with no one. If I go back and show the command, in order to go back one step, we use the exit command. Okay, one more exit, because I wanna show interfaces. Okay, I wanna show you how my interface is changing. If you remember previously, it was what? It was administratively down. Now it is down. It's down for a purpose, because it's not getting any signal and there is no connection with the other end. But it's not administratively down anymore, since we are enabling this port. Okay, now we will see when we will add a new router what will happen with this one. Now you'll tell me, you'll ask me, do I need to view all the interfaces each time I need to check the status of my interface? Let's say that I have in mind a specific interface and I wish to check that interface only without going to and seeing all the interfaces. I'll tell you, yes, there is a way. All what you need to do is to show interface, okay, serial, for example. What interface serial? 0 0 0. I'm gonna show you this the configuration, the status of that specific interface. So it's a way of having a shortcut to viewing that specific interface. Do you have any question before we go ahead? Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Matthew. Okay, so we'll go ahead and connect a new router. Okay, this is the router. Okay, and definitely I need a one connection. Now, what is this timer? What is this timer over here? Okay, do you remember the concept of the DCE and DTE? Now, let me, yeah, great. Okay, just let me remind you of the DCE and DTE. DCE stands for Data Communication Equipment, and DTE stands for Data Termination Equipment. The router by default is considered to be a DTE equipment, okay? Data Termination Equipment, because all its interfaces are configured to be DTE. Whenever we connect to one connection, one end should be DCE and one end should be DTE. Okay, so I'll go ahead and choose this one. Okay, I'll connect it to this serial interface. Okay, and over here I have a problem. I cannot find any serial interface. Why is that? Because I didn't add yet a serial interface. So I need to double click on this router. I need to power it off, and I need to add an interface. And Dr. Hussein, I'm gonna add that interface to the other slot in order to distinguish and see the notation. But if I add it to this slot where we added it to this slot in the previous router, okay, we're gonna see the same interface notation. So over here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the other one, and we'll see what interfaces we can have. We will see over here. Now, since this router is not located in the same location as this router, I prefer to connect it to a dedicated computer. But if I don't have that option, I can telnet. Now, telnetting is a different topic. We'll see it later. So over here, I'll go ahead and add a computer. Okay, I'll use the console port to the rollover cable. This is the console. Now by clicking on this one, okay, let's say okay, by mistake we've deleted our router. Let me add a new one, double click on it, and we will add a serial interface. Yeah, we can't add the interface since the router is powered on. So we'll go ahead and add the interface. Actually, the recording and this online session makes some softwares behave strangely. Okay, so we'll go ahead and power it on once again. Okay, so I'll connect the console port, okay, to the RS. Now, do you see, Dr. Hussein, how the notation has changed? Instead of having 0, 0, 0, we have 0, 1, 0. Okay, that's mean it's an indicator of the different placement of the interface, the NIC on the interface. Okay, by mistake I connected it to the serial. I have to connect it to the console port. Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Matthew. Yes, of course. Okay, see, of course, see over here. Yeah, over here 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1, and over here what do we have? I'm sorry, I cannot point it with my cursor. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So what was changed over here? The 1 in between, because we placed it. Can be the same serial number. If I delete this one, I just use the other serial available slot or the other available slot just to show you how this number can change based on your placement of the expansion card or expansion slot. Okay, so it can be the same. Both of them can be 0, 0, 0. We're just doing it to show you the different options over here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add a one connection. This one, it's connected to this one. Okay, if I touch this one, if I move my cursor over this one, this timer or this clock or this watch indicates that this part is the DCE and the other part is DTE. Okay, which means I need to go back and add the configuration to make it a DCE instead of DTE, because my configuration are the configuration for the DTE, not the DCE. In order to add a DCE instead of DTE, I go back again to that interface and I change the features of that interface by making it DCE instead of DTE. The first step is by going to conf terminal. Okay, interface serial 0 over 0 over 0. Okay, all what you need to do is to provide clock rate. Okay, and by typing a question mark, it will show you the available options. Mostly used clock rates numbers are the 64,000 and the 56,000. Okay, these are the mostly used clock rates number, and most of our activities, like 99% of them, we are going to use either 56 or 64,000. So let me go ahead and click and configure it with 64,000. Okay. Okay, now my interface is acting as a DCE. Enable okay, end or exit.